And hello, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and we are broadcasting from Greenville, South Carolina. And it is a beautiful day. It's only in the high 80s today. This morning was in the 60s. I don't know how the weather changes like that. When one moment it's hot and then the next day it's cool. And I guess over the weekend it's supposed to be even more cool. So I'll just be cool. That's all I can be, is just cool. Well, so this week has been kind of a disgusting week. As I'm sitting here doing my work for my clients, I'm listening to 2 full days of testimony before Congress. And I'm listening the first day to 2 whistleblowers from the Internal Revenue Service who were excellent in how they were answering the question. Then the second day was on censorship and what has happened in the government trying to censor Americans that were speaking out during COVID and speaking out during the pandemic and against the Bidens, against the laptop, and how they were censored. Their social media accounts were shut down by the government. Both days, I got more and more pissed off. So I spent these 2 days watching these 2 congressional hearings, and I got madder and madder and madder. The first was IRS whistleblowers, and the second on the government silencing free speech in social media against all Americans. Even I was censored. Both times the Democrats acted like idiots. Democrats in the hearing were discussing. I could not believe that in a middle of a hearing about censorship, Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida wanted to censor RFK Jr. because she didn't agree with what he was saying about the pandemic and about politics and everything else. She didn't like him, so she was trying to censor him right there in the process. I tell you, when you watch them, they appeared angry and hateful at everyone and everything. They attacked the whistleblower's integrity and then tried to censor RFK, lied about his statements. There was not one sign from the Democrats that they wanted to hear testimony of the witnesses. Instead, they tried to trick them. They tried to scold them. They tried to humiliate them. Democracy was not represented in the hearing by the Democrats at all. Kennedy was asked what happened to his party. What happened to the Democrats? It certainly is not the party of the Kennedys. And when he gave his explanation, he was right when he talked about his uncles inviting the other party leaders to his house and into his administration. They worked together for the betterment of the of the country, not the party. I'm going to give you a good example of this. When he was talking about how his uncles, he should bring people over to the house and they would talk and they would discuss and they would get down to the nitty-gritty, and he would ask them for their help. Henry Cabot Lodge was a Republican, lost his seat to a Kennedy in Congress. However, Lodge went on and served various presidents on various different foreign affairs issues. Lodge was then a running mate of Nixon against John F. Kennedy and lost. However, Kennedy invited Lodge into the White House to advise Kennedy on the UN and other foreign issues that came up before the country. Lodge also went on and served under President Johnson as ambassador to Vietnam. The old Democratic Party under the Kennedys reached out and worked together with the Republicans on important issues, those issues that mattered to the nation. It was clearly a different time then. Reagan worked with Tip O'Neill and had a good working relationship with him, and they laughed a lot together. However, today's Democrats today's party of the Democrats are so angry and they are unable to work with other people across the aisle. It seldom happens. There seems to be a party wall that divides cooperation. That needs to change. It's time to tear down this wall for the betterment of this nation. Here's a good quote that came from Henry Cabot Lodge. Animosity is not a policy. Animosity is not a policy, and it never resolves anything for the betterment of the nation. Both sides of the aisle need to start acting like adults and do their job for the American people. In these recent months, serious allegations have been made regarding possible criminal tax fraud and legal misconduct by Hunter Biden and President Joe Biden. These allegations have raised concerns among the American people who are now demanding action, accountability, and a fair Internal Revenue Service. But we're not getting it. We have two whistleblowers who did a fair investigation and then got shut down. They did a very good investigation. If you listen to their testimony, it was good. It was good. It is imperative for Democrats in Congress to prioritize the facts over political affiliations and demonstrate ethical conduct when determining the need for action or improvement in this nation. The American people are calling for swift and transparent accountability, as their faith in legal fairness for all citizens have been severely shaken over what they've seen over the past 2 and 3 years. The need for trust in our government from top to bottom is more crucial than ever. We have a lot of issues before us. And when we have whistleblowers play in a very indispensable role in uncovering potential wrongdoing and safeguarding the integrity of our institutions. In the case of the Biden tax allegations, individuals who have come forward have information regarding possible criminal tax fraud, and they must be protected. They must be protected from any form of retaliation. And we're hearing about retaliation against both of them at the moment. The DOJ, the FBI, and IRS must ensure that these whistleblowers are shielded under existing whistleblower protection laws. It is imperative that these agencies guarantee the anonymity and security of these individuals, as it allows for a thorough investigation into the allegations and prevents any undue influence that could compromise the integrity of the process. I tell you, whistleblowers should feel confident and safe in their decision to come forward, and their courage and cooperation are crucial to upholding justice. As I watch this, and I watch these two hearings, I came away from the feeling that there were individuals there that wanted to get to the answers, so they asked really good questions and they got really good answers back. But then there were others that wanted to be there and they wanted to shout out Donald Trump's name and issues on racism, and it just went on. It was nonsense. And then they tried, in the second day, when they tried to shut down RFK Jr., that was despicable. In a hearing about censorship, in a hearing about free speech, Debbie Wasserman Schultz tries to shut him down. Despicable. Disgusting. Listen, they're going to hear a lot of supporting facts, and they're going to have to make some ethical decision. The responsibility to uncover the truth lies not solely with law enforcement agencies, but also with elected officials. Democrats in Congress have a duty to prioritize the facts presented before them rather than blindly following party lines. It is essential that they support a comprehensive investigation into the allegations against President Biden and his son on the issue of censoring, and also on the issue of censoring of American people. Upholding the principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability is crucial to restoring faith in our legal system and ensuring that no one, regardless of their position, is exempt from facing the consequences of any wrongdoing. The American people have lost faith in the fairness of our legal system, and rightly so, given recent events and what we've seen in these last few years. If it leads to a criminal issue, it must be resolved through the legal channels. Congress refers it to the Justice Department, and they have the ability to impeach a president at the same time. But do it non-politically, because the American people have had it with politics. They see Americans being charged for lesser crimes and serving time in prison. And when politicians or the elite are in criminal trouble, the American people see nothing happening. The American people have had it, and their frustrations are running high. The government has to stop playing politics and enforce the rule of law at every level of the government. It's vital. It's important. You see, Congress has a responsibility of representing each and every single one of us. They're not representing their party. They're not representing party leaders. They are representing you, and that's what they're being paid for. That's why they get good paid to go back and forth between the districts and talk to the people and see what they feel and what they want to be done and what needs to happen in their lives to make them better Americans. But they're not doing it. Instead, what happens is that they get elected and they go straight to Washington, D.C., and then they do absolutely nothing for the American people, and they do everything of what is on the political agenda of that party. It happens on both sides. Let's be honest about that. So we have some decisions to make here on whether or not this Congress is really representing us or just representing each individual party. If you find a party that is representing you, vote for that party. But if they're not voting for you, if they are not representing you, if they are not listening to you, if they are making bad decisions on the economy and on foreign affair issues, they're not the individual that should be in that position. So you and I, we have some decisions to make also when it comes to the 2024 voting season. But in the meantime, Congress has got to work together. And they have got to get this criminal entity out of government. FBI has got to do their jobs. They are not a political party. The Department of Justice ought to be independent from the White House and ought to do what is right for the American people and the rule of law. That is their responsibility. Listen, today's Friday, so let's go out and have a good dinner or a cup of coffee. If you have any questions for me, send it to me at thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. Or if you would like to sit down in a confidential meeting and discuss business issues that you would like some help on, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. You can book me online. Everybody, thank God it's Friday. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.